Right, morning everybody. Welcome back to Volvo Spaces. Today we're going to be doing MOT work on Aiden's V70. We've got loads to do this weekend. The weather looks like it's going to be really good. But first things first, we're going to have a cup of coffee. So it's coffee in the maker. And it goes. We're waiting for that to start cooking. We've got the milk on the go. We've got the coffee coming out. And now we're ready to go. We're going to have a little coffee and then get to work on the car. Right, we've had our coffee. Time to get the car up in the air and find out what we're going to actually start on. I think we're going to actually start on the back bit. We've got exhaust pipe hangers to do. There's damage on the corner of the bumper. That needs refixing, finding the broken bit. We're going to try and get the bolts out of it today and try and get the bumper off so I can actually fix it properly. I'll take you and show you exactly what we've got to do in a sec. Right, here we go, let's get it up. Go right to the top. Lock it in. Let's get that locked in nice and safe. Right, that can't go anywhere now. They're all locked in there. That can't go anywhere. So it's all good, all nice and safe, and we can do what we want to do now. Right, now we're up in the air. We can see what we got going on here. Right, someone's had a go at this before, obviously. Obviously that's not original. That's where they break from. They break from there, and then that should be welded to the exhaust pipe. Basically, that part should be welded to the actual exhaust part as it's actual part of the exhaust. So, a common thing. They're always breaking, and obviously to renew this bit means a new rear half of the exhaust, which, if you can repair it, there's nothing wrong with the exhaust. Look, it's all pretty good. There's no need to replace this half of the exhaust pipe. It's just a shame that these bits just break off. So I should imagine I'm probably going to be cutting most of this off. Someone's had a go at this obviously before. That hasn't. They haven't really done a good job, to be honest, because it looks like it's actually snapped off of there like that. That's snapped. I mean, look how thin the metal is. I mean, with the amount of bouncing and stuff up and down, that ain't gonna hold, and it most certainly hasn't either, is it? The bumper, there's the cable ties that someone's tried to secure the bumper with. That ain't staying like that. I'm not having that. It's not going to MOT like that. Probably wouldn't pass anyway, even though it did have an MOT on it like it, but we ain't taking it like it. The bumper, I'm suspecting, where are we? That bolt there, the way that's moving up and down, that's broken. That'd be broken from where it supports on here. I don't like, actually the support looks like it's actually broken on the bodywork, to be honest. Right, yeah, first things first, I'm going to undo these bolts here. I'm going to drop this down so this whole lot can drop down, and then obviously I can slide the bumper back. So I've got the grinder or wire brush on the grinder, which is here. Give that a wire brushing off, get them all nice and shiny and clean, and then we should be able to undo them then. All nicely cleaned up. We get a couple of sockets on them, twist them off. If worst comes to worst, we'll probably have to heat these up. They look like they've been in there quite a while, so Yeah, I might have to heat them up. That's no bother though. Nothing we ain't done before. Right, we've got the bolts off. Or the nuts, shall I say. They're a little bit tight in there. Just get the hammer and they've been in there a while. Try and give them a bit of a spin with the old gun. Loosen them up a bit. What I'll do is I'll get one bolt out and I'll attach it on that one and then knock the other one out through the hole with the other one. Use it as a guide to knock it through. Yeah, it's going. Right, bolts are out. What I've done, I've left that bolt in there just so that can pivot. So it's basically it's out of the way until I start bagging my head on it, and then I'll take it off altogether then. But yeah, so I'll leave that like that for a minute. That's all good. It's out of the way. I'll start on the bumper bolts, which I don't fancy doing, but gotta be done, I suppose. Right, we've got some problems going on here. Right, so what we've done is we've broken them free, so we can slide the bumper off just like that. As you see, it's coming off because it's that's completely rotten in there. Look, the bumper hangers, look, they're all rotten. The whole lot's rotten. And I suspect the other side is going to be the same because the bolt didn't want to undo. So we're going to need some new bumper hangers because they're done. They're completely rotten. They're shot. That's what that's supposed to bolt onto there. So you've got two bolt holes. They come from inside here, one there, one there. They face on and face into there. And the other side is exactly the same. And there we go, bumper's off. Completely rotten, look. I've never seen one go like that before. But we did get it from a place that was a pretty damp part of the country. So I think that's what's gone on there. Look, that's had a whack, that's got to be straightened out. I've got to try and get them out. That's the inside of the bumper. They're meant to be. That's meant to come down there, like that, across there, up, and the centre bolt straight through the middle there holds. That sits on the chassis. You slide the bumper onto this. That bolt comes from under here and does up there. That's never going to come out of there. That's done. And holds it to the car basically. So yeah, there's the problem. Still, at least it's off. Once it's off, we can actually get to it and do what we need to do to it. So all I've got to try and do now is try and get these bolts out of here, which yeah, we might do, to be honest. I might get a bit of spray. Even if I've got to heat them up, it doesn't really matter because there's nothing on there really that it's just trying to get to these heads here. So I might even have to cut them. I don't know yet. I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there we go. Time consuming. Stuff I didn't really want to get into, but there you go. Someone's damaged it. It's got to be repaired. And I'm not repairing it with cable ties like you saw earlier. I'm going to get it sorted and do it properly. So yeah, we've got a bit of a task on our hands here. Right, here he is. Look, here the boy. He's turned up. Look, a little bit late, but he's here, I suppose.
Good morning. I'm sorry I'm late.
Yeah,
but,
you're late.
What I'll be doing today is, if you come to the back of the car.
Go on in. Are you sure you know what we're doing today?
I think so. I'm just
Right.
about awake, eh?
Okay then.
But what I'll be doing today is I'm going to be taking the calipers off.
Yep.
Then I'll be replacing my brake discs.
Yeah.
Because they're absolutely in a disgusting
Yeah,
condition.
they are. Yeah, they are actually. Yeah, they've had it. Like we said before, anyway, when we walked around and did a walk round on it before.
We'll replace them. Once I've replaced them, I'm going to give my handbrake a tighten and do that the same with the other side. So after this is done, we'll probably just need to get the brackets fitted because we've ordered them, and the exhaust pipe secured back on.
Yep, so we've gone and ordered these this morning. Quite expensive, let me tell you. You won't believe how much they are. And the bolts come as a separate kit, and they're also virtually the same price as what these brackets were. Loads of money, but there you go. We're into doing stuff properly. It's got to be done properly. At least we know if it comes off again, it's coming off. So what I'm going to be concentrating on trying to get these bolts out here, like I said earlier. These things here, I'm probably going to have to cut that one. It's got actually no head left on it whatsoever. That might have a little bit of luck with that one. They don't look too great this side here, so. But yeah, that's where the time's going to be today. Doing these, getting them ready for the new brackets to turn up. They should be turning up some point next week, towards the end of next week, I think. Then we can get this back end completely done in. So while I'm doing this, like Aidan said, he's going to be doing the rear discs, doing the handbrake, giving it all a bit of a tidy up in there, a bit of a clean up, and then we're going to carry on with the exhaust pipe bracket. We're going to have to try and, oh, it's falling to pieces as we go. Yeah, try and sort of something out with the bracket, and then we'll cut in and cut out as we go along. Right, what I've done is set the tripod up, and I'll just give you a bit of background video in just while we're doing odd bits. Yeah, that's right, as long as it's loose so you can get it off. I'll tell you what, that's done pretty well. Yeah, you know it. Here's the plastic one, mate. Yeah, mate, that come undone. At least one's off. I ain't got to cut that one off. That one's got no head on it at all. Try and get the ones out that I can. Oh.
Got my socket as well.
There's another, I think there's another 13 in it. Right, what I'm trying to do is I'm getting the bolts out that I can, that's going to come out. The ones that I can't get out, I'm either going to have to heat up or cut them off. So I'll get the ones out that seem to be like they're moving. Luckily enough, these are moving. I think I'm going to have to either cut this one off and the same one the other side. Aidan's taking the brake calipers off at the minute. So I'll get the disc changed, get the handbrake adjusted, and then that's another job done. I don't even think I'm going to get a socket on that, mate, to be honest. What's that one?
Yeah, lube on it, that's the caliper.
Let's go make the caliper, chuck them in your tray then. Don't lose them. I think that'll probably come undone if I might stick an outside socket on there actually. Basically what I've got in my toolbox, I've got a tray of outsize sockets that I use especially for jobs like this, where the nut has decayed so much. You ain't going to get a normal size socket on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get like a smaller socket, outside socket, like a 13/16 or something, or whatever they call it. I don't know what the sizes go, or 5/8. And I'm going to whack it on there and see if I can get that spun round off there. Hopefully I won't have to heat it up or cut it off. I don't really want to cut it off, to be honest.
Where's the best place to bang that?
Just leave it hanging behind the back plate there.
That'll be right like that, yeah?
Yeah, just leave it hanging like that. As long as you don't bend that pipe, you'll be alright, yeah?
That's all right, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Handbrake's off, yeah?
Yes, mate, yeah.
Okay, you might have to tap that, spin that round a couple of times.
Yep.
Yeah, and you might have to tap it to get it off. Because I think we're just bending brakes, you know what I mean? Is it going to come off? Should. That looks pretty loose, that should just lift off. That might need tapping off. Yeah, that's because the reason why it's not going to come off is because inside there it's got like itself a lip. So you've got where it's.
That's the handbrake bit.
Yeah, so the handbrake shoes, where it's been adjusted up, you can unadjust the handbrake. Yeah, which close the shoes up.
Yeah.
Which will just slide off. But that, if you just tap that, and it just force it off basically. If the shoes come off, it don't matter, we just put the kicks back on. Alright?
Gotcha, you cunt.
You got it?
Yeah. Right, show these.
Alright?
Yeah, I'll show them the old brake. This is my old brake disc. As you can see, it's looking worse for wear.
Yep, we've got many ones here.
So.
God, I don't know. What's the groove like inside? Yeah, that's why it wouldn't come off, because of this groove here. So.
I look like I've just been fishing, you know. Just.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I've caught a brake disc.
Holding up your prize catch.
Yeah. So obviously these are no use anymore. These are going to go straight to the old scrapyard.
Right, here's my little odds and sods box. In here we should have some odd sockets, which are all funny sizes. Like this thing here, that might fit on top actually. What's this one? 3/8. See, I don't understand all them sizes, to be honest. They're like old sizes or whatever they are. I've never really used them. It's only what I've sort of collected over the years, really. Different stuff and finding different bits. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to whack them on the head of the bolt, so nice and tight. And then so it doesn't really matter if these get knackered at all doing the job, because like I've got no use for them anyway. These are only purely kept for the jobs that I've got to go and do it with at the minute. It's just an odd box full of sockets and odd bits like that you never know you're ever going to need. And I don't like throwing anything away anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to try these couple and see what we get. See if I can actually get them on the head of them bolts. Let's just see if I can do that. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I don't know. That one's going to be too small anyway, that one. Yeah, I'll keep that one now just in case. Yeah, right. Right, so what I've had to do, I've had to cut the head of the bolt off because I had nothing that went on it. Absolutely nothing. Although I did have stuff that went on it, but it just kept on slipping around because there was no bite on the bolt whatsoever. So what I've done is I've cut the head of the bolt off, and then I've cut a groove into what's left of the bolt, so it can actually now go in there and turn it with the chisel, like that.
So you've basically made yourself a little screw head.
Basically, yeah, I made myself a little screw head to actually undo it, because what I didn't want to do was I didn't want to cut it flat, then I've got to try and get the thread and try and undo it from the back, basically.
It's not going to happen, is it?
So it's not going to happen now. So what I've done is I've cut a groove into it, so I'm going to tap that round with a hammer in a sec, unscrew the rest of it, and then I'll probably end up having to do the same with the other side. So basically it's just it's like a screw. Basically what I'll do is I'll put a bit of lube on the thread the other side, loosen it up like that, so it's like a bloody great big screw really, and then I'll put some lube on it, work it backwards and forwards like that, as I say, because I don't want to cut it flat to that, because then I've got to try and get the rest of the thread out, and I don't want to start drilling the thread out because we've got the original bolts to go back into it, and there is actually nothing wrong with the actual thread. So these obviously was part of the chassis, so it's only the bolts, that's all, the heads of the bolts, and yeah, I'll put a bit of lube on that, work it backwards and forwards, and then just work it out. Yeah, right, I've done exactly the same this side as what we did the other side. Cut around the bolt, going to work that backwards and forwards. At least it's moving, so as long as it's moving we can get it out. Put a bit of grease around it, we'll wind it in. It's still pretty hot actually. What's that?
Get some protection for the old hands.
Yeah, you know it. And what I might do is I might get them grips on it like I did the other one, because that might end up breaking off. Where the big grips have gone. Yeah, it's going to break off, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. All the time it's moving, we can
work with it.
Yeah. Bit stubborn this one. The other side was a bit easier.
We find that stuff on the cars though, don't we?
Yeah, you know it.
Oh, there it goes.
There goes the bits, look. No worries. That's alright. At least it's moving, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's got loads of rust there behind it.
Probably why it's going to be a bit stubborn, this one.
What I might do in a minute, I might cut behind it so I've whatever's left inside here is already moving.
Yeah.
Because there's rust behind it that's stopping it from unscrewing.
Trying to bring the rust through.
I'm trying to, yeah, exactly that. I'm trying to break off. I don't want to mess the, because these are captive bolts or captive nuts. I mean, if the worst comes to the worst, when we put the new plate on, we just put a nut and bolt straight through because we can get to it. So it's only it just makes it easier to solve it. What we have to do is I might have to cut that from behind actually, cut the back end of it off and then wind it back through and then bring it back through, yeah? So we've already got some grease and shit going on through it.
I'll show the people how much we've got left the other side.
Yeah, it's quite a bit actually. It's quite a bit of rust build up on that.
Oh, we're looking. There we are.
On here, there's the captive nut. That's what we're trying to get through. So I might end up having to cut that bit off.
I think it might be a bit easier on our
Just
part.
cutting that off. Yeah, I think so. Let me get to it with a cutter then, mate.
So Chris has just cut the back of the bolt, and now it's going to work it through.
Basically, I've cut it flat to the captive nut, so the bit that's already inside the captive nut is already moving. So the bit we was trying to get through was had all the rust build up on it. I've tried and wind that bit through there, put some more grease on it, and then bring it back through. Yeah, let's wind that bit through so we've got some thread the other side.
With a task like this, you can never have too much lube. More lube the better,
Always got to have plenty of lube. Yeah. Yes, there's right. It's the key ingredient, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit still sticking through there.
It's hard to cut too flush without cutting the actual.
No, I don't want to cut the nut off.
Exactly.
Obviously, that's still good. It's just the bolts, because we've got new bolts coming anyway, so don't matter about the bolts.
We'll do it as easy but as professional as possible. You don't know,
We'll try.
Bodge it.
Oh, we ain't bodging it.
That's bad, look.
Coming through a bit better now, isn't it?
Crazy what can happen when a little bit of lube is added.
Yep.
How much easier life can be.
Still tight though through there.
I suppose it's never been off, is it?
Nah.
Like everything else on the car.
Like everything else on here, mate. We're first timers on it. No one's actually.
As Chris mentioned before, by actually doing all these things, when we then come back next year for the next MOT, it's probably going to need maybe possibly brake pads or a couple tyres, for example. So
Other than that,
once you've done the initial work,
once this is all done, this is done.
exactly. It's just
If we need to get here again, we know it's all going to come off because it's all going to go back together with loads and loads and loads of grease. So, as you're going to have new brackets on it, new bolts, and here we go.
there is
There
the
it is.
culprit.
So, what is, I'll put some grease in them.
Yep.
Stop them from getting any corrosion in them before the new bolts go in them. So they're already primed up then. I'll just bend this flange back out a little bit. Like that. I won't go too mad bending it backwards and forwards. Because we don't want to snap it off, do we? And then we've got more problems going on. Right, we're going to stop for a cup of tea, have a little bit of refreshment. I'll just go show you. Now I've got the bolt out, I've greased them all up, all ready for the new bolts and the new brackets. All we've got to do is, I'm going to cut these off of here because we can't save them, so I'm going to cut them off. I mean, look, that's non-existent, look at that, it's non-existent, isn't it? So yeah, I'm going to cut that straight off because we've got new bolts coming anyway, so we just need to get that off. That'll be all ready to go straight back on there when we get the new brackets and bolts. So that bit's already done, and that should be nice and easy for all the new bits to go straight back on. That'll go straight, slide straight back in. All these brackets are all right. That side's got a little bit of a break on it, but that's not a problem. I think we've actually got some of them anyway, to be honest. We've got the new disc on there. Looks very, very good. We'll sort the handbrake out on this one in a second. We're going to have a cup of tea first, and then we'll get back with it. Right, I've just cut the bolts off. So we're going to put the new bolts through. As you can see, there's nothing left of them. Right, so what we've done is we have cut away all the exhaust pipe stuff that was bodged up before. So I've made up a bit of metal, gone through the rubber there. So I've put it in a vise and made a bit of metal up basically. Snapped off all the rest of the old rusty bit of bracket that sits on there. That sits in the groove. We've got a U-clamp on there as you can see on here. That keeps that tight onto the exhaust pipes. It's nice and secure. That is tight, nice and tight. So might need a bit of adjustment when the rear bumper goes back on it, but we can't do that until we get the bumper brackets anyway. So that has to stay like that for the minute. We might have to take it off and sort of bend it back down a little bit, or bend it over a bit, depending on wherever the bumper sits with it. We don't want that knocking. We've got the discs on. We've just done the handbrake, nice and tight. Didn't take too much to do, to be honest. Not worth filming it. Just a case of sticking a screwdriver straight in the hole there, winding it up. I normally wind them right the way up so you can't get any more winds out of them, and then wind them back a turn or half a turn just to loosen them off so the disc still spins. Even though you can hear the shoes inside, that will just, as soon as you drive down the road, that'll be gone. You won't hear that noise. Yeah, so we've done that both sides. The bumper brackets are off, I just showed you earlier, so they're all ready to go back on when we get the new ones. This side's all done. Handbrake's nice and tight, and I think we're basically done until we get the bits for it now, aren't we, with this bit?
Got a happy customer.
So yes, very much so. So we're probably going to have a bit of a tidy up, and tomorrow we will start on the front, which we've got some work down to do at the front.
We'll
so,
start on the left side, how it is.
yeah, we're probably going to have to get the angle grinder out again tomorrow, I think. We'll leave that one to hand, shall we? So I think we've got plenty to cut off with here as well at the front. So anyway, I'm quite pleased about the back bit. Just waiting for new bolts, new brackets. Aiden's going to put his wheels back on. Didn't need new pads, as I say, they were done a little while ago, so didn't need them. Wasn't going to put new ones in there, there's no need to, there's still plenty of meat on them. They never really wear down anyway, really, to be honest. You can go through 2 or 3 sets of fronts before you do a set of backs. And then, yeah, we'll have a tidy up today. As you can see, we have, I'll step back a bit. We've got quite a lot of stuff outside at the minute, with all the bits going on. We're going to have a bit of a tidy up in the garage, and then we'll probably be done for the day, actually, to be honest with you. I mean, that up there, that is lovely. I don't even know what temperature is. Do you know what temperature is? What is it?
28.
It's 28. So it's 28. And I think we're just about done for the day, I think.
Sweating.
Sweating is the word he's saying, yeah. Yeah, we'll be out here again tomorrow. Well, I'll be out here again tomorrow.
I will be awake, I promise you. I'll be awake.
You're going to put in an appearance in the morning, are you? Or are we going to sort of have another bit of a lay-in?
No, I'll be up.
You sure?
I promise.
Right, guys and girls, you've heard this. He's actually done it on video.
Oh,
he said he's going to be there in the morning, but we'll wait and see with that one. So it hasn't been, hope it hasn't been too boring for you today. As I say, we'll come out and do a bit more filming and carry on with the rest of the stuff we've got to do. So this is probably, I would say, what, part 1?
Part 1 of many.
Part 1 of, I don't know how many it's going to be, but it's
Of a couple.
It's part 1. So yeah, we'll catch up tomorrow. So once again, thanks again for watching, thanks for your interest. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends. I say loads more videos to come on different bits that we're going to do on different cars as we go along the way. So yeah,
See you in the next one.
cheers.